flipping through your website on werewolves.com, and I was startled to see they're remaking An American Werewolf in London. Why?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
I mean, yeah, I was just reading this article. And folks, again, you go to werewolves.com and there's a lot of fascinating stuff on here. Uh, uh, and there's an article up here about a remake of An American Werewolf in London. I'm probably going to have to go off on this. Um, but we're coming up to the top of the hour, so I'm going to save my tirade until we come back from the break. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by Miss Ashley Harness. She's the editor of werewolves.com. And the way I like it, we're all over the map tonight. And we're going to continue straying all over that map when we come back to GameCon Radio Network from these commercial messages.
Lisa Ann, host of Creature Reality TV show and co-host of The Paranormal Outsiders, wants to ask you, are you tired of coping with life and ready to start living it? Then you need to visit Spirit Quest Healing Center, a center for your soul. There, Lisa Ann offers reading sessions, Reiki healing sessions, past life regression, and the ever-popular mini readings by email. If you live in the New York area, be sure to check out Creature Reality, a weekly TV show that is not a feel-good fluff TV show. This is a show that is going to make you take a good hard look at yourself and the issues that surround you. More information can be found on her website. Check out Amazon.com for her book No Phones in Heaven, and her line of meditation CDs can be bought at her website. You do not live in Lisa Ann's area? Well, there's no fear. She does readings in person or over the phone, so even if you don't live in the area, you can still get a session. And remember, you owe it to yourself to visit Lisa Ann's Spirit Quest Healing Center. That's www.spiritquesthealingcenter.com.
That's the way Johnny Williams was killed?
Yes. Find something?
Animal tracks.
Whoever is bitten by a werewolf and lives becomes a werewolf himself.
Oh, don't hand me that. You're just wasting your time.
The wolf bit you, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he did. You wouldn't want to run away with a murderer, would you?
Oh, Larry, you're not. You know you're not.
I killed Bela. I killed Richardson. If I stay here any longer, you can't tell who'll be next.
Hello, sir. Welcome to Game Shop. How can I help you today?
Yeah, I'd like a WoW time card, please.
Okay. Just give me a minute. While you're at it, would you like to pre-order a copy of the new EverQuest expansion?
Not especially, no, I don't play EverQuest 2.
Oh, that's okay. We meant the original EverQuest. So, shall I put you down for $5 on the pre-order?
No, I don't play either EverQuest 1 or 2, just WoW. Can I get a time card, please?
Sure. While you're here, would you like to sign up for our discount card? It's only $25 and you get 10% off all used console games.
Well, I'll be honest, I only come here a couple of times a year, and I don't even own any consoles, so could I just get the time card?
Sure, time cards. Oops, sorry, looks like we're all out. We should be getting some next week. Why don't you try another game? We've got a great deal on RF Online this week when you buy 3 copies of Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, I'll see myself out.
Hey, are you interested in putting down a reservation on that door?
Let's be honest here. Why waste time when you don't have to? If you need codes and you need them now, the place to get them is MMOcodes.com. Fast delivery, great prices, and a wide variety of games to choose from. MMOcodes.com is the place for time codes and product keys. Get everything you need from MMOcodes.com. Game codes provided by gamers for gamers.
And we are live on the Dr. William Lester Show from the city of Atlanta. My guest tonight is Miss Ashley Harness. She is the editor of werewolves.com, but she's also the editor of vampires.com. So it's like, you know, two sides of the coin, heads or tails. And when I flipped the coin, it came up werewolves. And
Great.
before we went to the break, I was saying that I was on the website, and I happened to see that there's going to be a remake of the film American Werewolf in London, which, of course, the original movie made by John Landis, and, you know, featuring David Naughton from 1981. And so apparently there's a remake.
Livid. You are
Well,
livid.
I'm livid. I mean, come on, folks. Really? You know, is this what you came out of the meeting and this is what you came up with, huh? You know, the idea of an original screenplay never occurred to you guys? You know,
I'm just glad they didn't pick, you know, something like Labyrinth, like a classic like that, or oh God forbid, The Howling.
oh well, you know, well the sequels to The Howling sullied it enough to, you know, to make a remake almost unthinkable. But you know, I would have thought this was unthinkable. You movie makers, or some of you movie makers, really should get into another line of work, because you know, everything does not warrant a remake. Now, already in the chat room, someone is saying, "Oh God, they're doing a remake of Labyrinth."
No. It was just a morbid joke. It was black humor.
So you can see that immediately people are horrified that might happen. But
Yeah.
it's outrageous. Like I said, I think the original film, American Werewolf in London, had a very nice balance of charm, humor, horror, suspense, and not really much of anything in the way of gore. And I think it balanced out fairly well. And I just don't think that a remake is
It's
going.
warranted, yeah.
It's not warranted, and you know, number one, you're not going to make a better film. That's A. Okay.
No.
You're
And
going
I mean,
to have.
what's next? Are you going to remake the American Werewolf in Paris sequel that came
Well, see-
out in what, the 90s? It's ridiculous.
And that one, that shouldn't have been made. And I'm sorry to have to.
It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. I was up, you know, it wasn't too bad at all. I could have liked it.
Well, you know what? If I had been whoever it is, I wouldn't have given it the green light.
I'm waiting for the American Werewolf in Morocco.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's we're getting down to that. Uh, but I'm sure that this is going to be a disaster. And
My boss just told me that he says that the Rick Baker special effects were denied from the new movie because they want to go with CGI.
what a surprise! Uh, they're gonna have some over the top werewolf. Uh,
With
that
video
is
game graphics.
it's gonna. I'm telling you, folks, it'll be like Xbox, uh, and there'll be zero storyline, zero plot. Uh, I'm definitely
Boring.
not
We've all seen it before anyway.
right. And repeat, not looking forward to it. Um, but I want to during the break, some we mentioned The Howling, uh,
Mhm.
uh, and again, early '80s. I'm a, you know, 10, 11, well, what, 12, 13-year old, uh, scared the hell out of me. Uh,
Aw.
oh, absolutely. Now I watched every minute of it.
Wow,
I
you
know.
hung on, huh?
No, no, no. When I was never one to say, "Oh no, I can't handle it. Turn it off."
Well, I've
Uh,
never turned it off. I cover my eyes and sort of
yeah,
like
no.
crawl.
I always thought. See, and again, I'll get in trouble with the PC people, but of course I don't care. Um, I've I always thought hiding your eyes was a girl thing.
Oh, well, I
Uh,
am a girl.
well, no, it was fine for you, right?
I
Oh, it's
hid
fine for
my
me.
eyes,
Oh, okay.
Dr. Lester.
Well, but but you came out of the closet, so that's okay. Uh, but uh,
Wow.
no, I always thought hiding your eyes was the girl thing. So I watched it all, but it scared the hell out of me, uh, and especially when it shows like the werewolves. Now, if you haven't seen these films, that's a you problem because we're going to talk about them, folks. Um,
Mhm.
but when you see the werewolf kind of lurking through the woods, and of course, David Carradine always did creep me out. Anyway, anything he was in. Uh,
He's
but
kind of a weird looking guy.
yeah, well, I mean, look, it's not an accident that he had a whole career. He had a whole career in creepy movies. It's not an
Well,
accident. You know,
the
I
same
mean,
goes
he
with
was.
a lot of classic horror movie actors.
Well, I mean, think about it. If you're looking at a guy like Boris Karloff,
Mhm.
uh, going back to the 30s when he played the Frankenstein monster. Now you look at the guy, and you
You're
say
not
this guy,
surprised.
yeah, this guy. I mean, this guy's an obvious shoe in. You know, for a whole career. For decades of horror films. Uh,
Absolutely.
and so again, a lot of these actors who have been icons in the horror film genre is
I'm
totally.
surprised Marilyn Manson never got into horror movies.
Yeah, well, again, they've slipped through the cracks, but uh, these actors who are icons in that genre, it is totally not by accident. I mean, when you just look at them,
Mhm.
um, they Vincent Price, just
Absolutely. He was
I
great.
just now look, a phenomenal actor, a great actor.
Mhm.
I'm not taking away from him, but the guy was just a
A
I don't
weirdo.
even just a complete. Yeah, I mean, he was
Strange looking
a
weirdo type guy, like a
yeah, had
throwback to the Shakespearean age, and he looked like
yeah,
I'm once again this is very politically incorrect, but honestly, yes,
uh-huh.
the man looked like a pedophile. He just had
Yeah,
that pedophile glow about him.
like he might, have those, yeah, exactly, had those sideburns and you know, and and the guy was totally weird, but
And he had
he
that
made it.
voice.
Yeah, I mean, you remember he was originally The Fly, and
Mhm.
if you see that movie, you totally buy it. Say, oh yeah, this guy, you know.
There's a remake. There's a remake I don't mind because when they remade The Fly, you know it was scary as hell. You were sitting there just scared out of your mind. It
By the
troubles
time,
me because
well,
I could never feel good about Jeff Goldblum again.
well, you know, by the time that came out, and I don't know the exact year, but I'm guessing the mid to late '80s. Uh, I was I was already like either just about or all the way out of high school,
Mhm.
and so
So
it
you were
didn't.
impossible to scare.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't scared in the sense of, oh my God, I can't sleep with the lights off. But I
It was
thought
disturbing.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
In terms of saying, okay,
Despite yourself.
this is what we need to have. This is,
Mhm.
and I knew it was I was already aware of the original, but I thought that was the type of it was well done.
It really was. I
It
agree.
was it was well done, and there was a point, and there was a plot, and there was a story there, and
And it didn't
so
just go by the original story. It wasn't. They weren't trying to stay completely true to the original.
no, and of course, again, it was still done. It was still done at a time where uh, you could have really good special effects, but not CGI, and you didn't turn it into just an animated, a Pixar production. Um,
Oh my God. Oh,
you
spare
know,
me.
that kind of thing. So that was an example of a fair remake. But I'm going to bring up a couple of, or I'm going to try kind of go through my personal memory banks here of some werewolf movies you may or may not have seen, you may or may not have heard of. If you haven't heard of them, go ahead and check it out. And maybe it may warrant comment on your website, or depending on what
Mhm.
you think of it. Um, 1961, Hammer Films, uh, The Curse of the Werewolf. Uh, Oliver Reed is in it. It is basically a film adaptation of the novel The Werewolf of Paris,
Okay.
uh, which is, you know, a, a good book. And strangely, Hammer Films decided to place the story in 18th century Spain as opposed to Paris, and I think that had more to do with the fact that they were doing another film with a similar setting, a similar set,
Mhm.
and so why not? To save a few dollars here. Um,
Mhm.
but
Well,
it
sure.
was, yeah, it was in, now I saw that one as a young kid, and it scared the hell out of me. Uh, and
I
again,
think a lot of the like the newer stuff and the makeup they can do now and the effects
uh-huh.
they can do now, sans the CGI, of course, has ruined me for a lot of older movies, which is really sad.
Right, and that's why I'm kind of bringing them up, because if you revisit them and look at what they did without the, well, obviously without the CG, but with a more, I guess, a more restrained makeup approach, it's very interesting. Now
Mhm.
this now if you haven't seen this film, they go substantially further than, say, Lon Chaney. Because
Mhm.
this is 2 decades past that. They go substantially further. And it's worth looking at, as a fan of the werewolf genre. Okay. Uh,
Mhm.
Another one, about a decade later, I think 1972. And
Mhm.
this is very peculiar because this is actually a made-for-TV movie, which, when you say that, you automatically start lowering your expectations. Um,
Yeah.
but and it's called Moon of the Wolf, and it is a
I've
film.
heard of it, and it's been on my list for a long time.
It's a
Because
film
I go for
adaptation.
the really low,
Yeah, it's a film adaptation of a novel by Leslie Whitten. The novel was written in 1966. The film was 1972, but the film star is David Jansen, and again, obviously no CGI, a very conservative uh, makeup job, but it's a fantastic story. It's a fantastic story, and it's wonderfully set in the Louisiana Bayou, which just adds to the creepy. Okay,
Yeah.
it adds to the creepy element.
There's
Uh,
nothing creepier than the South as far as
yeah,
settings go.
and when you're in the swamp, you're in the bayou. There's nowhere for you to go. You know,
Exactly,
uh,
because the damn gators and everything like that, you can't
right,
go in the
right.
water.
Yeah, so that is one that and of course the cool thing is all these old movies are now on DVD, and so
Absolutely.
you can enjoy them in a format
Mhm.
highly superior to what I saw on network television 30 years ago. You know,
Well,
uh,
and they've remastered a lot of it, so it would be even better quality than
oh,
when it was originally.
exactly, and it's when you sit and watch these older films now in a superior format, uh, it's they're so enjoyable. The audio quality, the video quality, and so definitely these are worth checking out. Now, of course, some folks in the chat room, it only took them about 60 seconds uh, to reference one of my personal favorites, the late great Darren McGavin, Carl Kolchak, the Night Stalker. Uh,
Oh.
yeah, I mean, you may kneel at the altar, uh, but
Oh, definitely.
you know, but of course, one of the unforgettable episodes was titled simply "The Werewolf," and I don't know if you saw or remember that episode, but uh, the thing that creeps you out about it is that they're on a luxury cruiser. They're on a luxury liner in the middle
There's
of the
nowhere to go.
nowhere to
Period.
go. Just nowhere to go.
You're absolutely isolated by the water and everything. You
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
swim for land.
right. And so it's like I know when somebody comes over the loudspeaker and says everybody stay in their cabin. I bet you they didn't have to say that twice. Uh,
Oh no.
you know, but that
No.
was and if you remember, I don't know if you remember, but the Kolchak uh, was it was the pilot for that show was actually a 2 hour movie, which was about a vampire.
Oh
And I don't
hell.
know. Yeah, and so
I
if you
don't think
haven't seen,
I've seen the pilot.
no, if you see, and again, it's all on DVD now, but the pilot is a 2 hour movie, and it is about a vampire, and very enjoyable. Set the stage for the entire series. Uh, and again, Darren McGavin created a character that is totally unforgettable. And how sad was the remake that they tried of that a couple years ago?
I don't think I saw the remake.
Well, you didn't miss anything. Uh,
Oh well, good.
yeah, they. I think they did 6 episodes and just decided to keep it real and just call it a day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch a lot of television because I don't like being disappointed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
For one thing, all those episodes of House, they make you paranoid. That's a
yeah,
show that is designed specifically to make you paranoid.
yeah, yeah. And then somebody on the chat room is saying the Kolchak remake was not worth bothering with. uh, and I second that. Uh, and yeah, everybody, I can't even keep up with the people are putting their commentary in the chat room. But no, so The Curse of the Werewolf, 1961, check that out. Moon of the Wolf, 1972, David Jansen, fantastic. Check that out. All of that stuff is on DVD. The Howling is, uh, just a very enjoyable werewolf film. Uh, I remember the
You know what I
scene.
liked really
What,
that
what,
didn't
what,
have any special effects really. Well, not a whole lot. Would be Wolf with Jack Nicholson and everything. That was
yeah,
about it.
well, Jack Nicholson turning into a werewolf is not a big jump. You know, uh,
No, not really.
it's so it wasn't. It was very believable, uh, and that was an interesting film. I thought that I thought they mailed it in at the end though a little bit.
hmm
The romping through the forest, that kind of stuff. Um,
A little bit of the day X in there, but it was still good.
yeah, still a good one. And the I don't know what came after that. Like I said, the underworld stuff was just, I don't know, it was cartoonish.
Too
I
much.
don't.
It was like sitting in a bathtub full of jellyfish and being like systematically electrocuted every 5 minutes.
Yeah, just looking for a way to get out. Um,
Mhm.
but I don't know of any other werewolf. Now, what did you think? And these are vampires, and because I guess at this point we're allowed to stray a little bit. Um, what did you think of Dusk Till Dawn?
I'm a big fan. It was
Hmm.
it was crazy. It was a lot of action, a lot of, just they're vampires. We don't need to get into the nature of the beast.
Hmm.
You know, they're vampires. Let's kill them. Let's leave. And it
Hmm.
was flat out, simple story. What else can you ask for? I
Yeah,
don't like
it was.
to get into too much of the whole, the psychology behind it and stuff like that. It's really overdone, and then you get like really retarded shit, like the Anne Rice thing. I'm so sick of that. Like sissified vampires who wear makeup and kiss is definitely not my thing.
Yeah, and I had forgotten. I had forgotten about, because I read I guess it was a trilogy, uh, or that's as far as I got. Um, uh, you know, I don't know how, separating the books from the movies. Uh, I thought that the whole thing, the charm of old New Orleans and all, that wore
The
so
movie was
thin.
great,
So,
but I mean, there's only so much a person can take. You
mhm.
know,
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, and you're right. These kind of, uh,
I'm glad
I
they
guess,
left. They moved around a lot in that movie, so I'm glad we got to see some different places.
I know that the vampire has always kind of been a romanticized creature, but it was so over romanticized,
It was
and
disgusting.
yeah, and just
It left you with a lump in your throat.
so much
And I don't know how
psychobabble.
I don't know how anybody could like survive reading all the books. My
Yeah,
brain would just be melted.
well, yeah. I mean, it's and now that you said that, I'm wondering how. But there, this whole thing about, I'm seeking another immortal, and oh, come on, you know,
Give me a break.
yeah, really, yeah.
I love the True Blood episodes are out now and then, like the True Blood episodes and stuff. I write those, the synopsis on vampires.com. Those are about 5,000 words each, so I get really into it. And there are a few occasions where one of the characters will say something just absolutely retarded, and I'll kind of just fall apart a little on the inside.
Yeah, actually, why didn't you guys cut that? I'll tell you, I don't know your thoughts on the film, but I was disturbed. And then when I say that, I'm saying I was pleased to be disturbed by 30 Days of Night.
Yeah,
That was disturbing.
It was disturbing. It was a great movie, and it was genuinely scary.
That was disturbing. I'm going to do a brief commentary on that film after we come back from the break. It's our last break of the evening. We will not be interrupted again, ladies and gentlemen, I promise you. My guest tonight is Miss Ashley Harness of werewolves.com and appropriately vampires.com. So no need to wonder what we're talking about tonight. We will be right back on the Dr. William Lester Show, live from the city, the great city, the no longer underwater city of Atlanta, right after the...
So what are your plans for Halloween 2009? Do you think dressing up as who you thought you were in a past life is just for kids? Well, fake again. The Shanley Hotel with their spirits at GameCon Radio is really tuned into the Halloween mood. There are plenty of treats and a few tricks to plan for this Halloween, with costumes, past life workshop, in-house ghost hunt, and a ghost box demonstration. The Shanley is where you need to be. Our special guest hosts for this event are Lisa Ann from the Spirit Quest Healing Center and the Paranormal Outsiders will be doing a past life workshop. Brian from Scared TV will be showing the Shanley Hotel video and leading the Midnight Ghost Hunt. And Steve Holte from RTSE Talk Radio and Keyport Paranormal will be doing a live ghost box session. All are here to guarantee you a hauntingly good time. Be sure to dress up as who you thought you were in the past life for a chance to win a free night at the Shanley and a 1-hour session with Lisa Ann to be collected after the event. Lisa will have her hands full just trying to keep old Hip out of trouble to take time away for doing the reading that night. The event starts with a meet and greet at 7 p.m., then it's full tilt boogie until the strike of midnight, when Brian and Lisa Ann leads the ghost investigation. Now, because the more people you have on the investigation, the less likely it will be positive results. So we have limited the tickets to the first 20 people. Tickets are $115 each, and with a ticket you get overnight accommodations and a continental breakfast. The Past Life Workshop led by Lisa Ann, a DVD of the Scared TV Shanley investigation, and other treats. So what are your plans for Halloween? Come join us at the Shanley. You will not be disappointed. There is a whole list of activities that will make this Halloween the most fun you've had in a very long time. Go to our MySpace at www.myspace.com/Halloween at the Shanley. See you there.
Yes? Hi, I'm here for the New York Ghost Tour. Sorry, we're closed. But you can come back next week. Next week? Forget that. I'll just go check out another place. Trust me, there's no place half as interesting as ours, dear. That's so not true. What about the Shanley Hotel in Napanoch? Once you've been to one haunted hotel, you've been to them all. Not like this place. The Shanley Hotel dates back to 1845, and since then it's been a hotspot for paranormal activity. Mysterious music, smells, whistling, doors opening, footsteps. Almost everything you can imagine has been experienced at that hotel. It's open to the public? Absolutely. Sal and Cindy, the owners of the hotel, welcome people for regular stays or investigations, and their rates are beyond reasonable. They even offer workshops and in-house psychics. How did you learn about this place? By visiting www.shanleyhotel.com. You can get history, investigation info, and much more. Thanks, I think I will. Just don't tell any of our customers.
Hello, sir. Welcome to Game Shop. How can I help you today?
Yeah, I'd like a WoW time card, please.
Okay. Just give me a minute. While you're at it, would you like to pre-order a copy of the new EverQuest expansion?
Not especially, no, I don't play EverQuest 2.
Oh, that's okay. We meant the original EverQuest. So, shall I put you down for $5 on the pre-order?
No, I don't play either EverQuest 1 or 2, just WoW. Can I get a time card, please?
Sure. While you're here, would you like to sign up for our discount card? It's only $25 and you get 10% off all used console games.
Well, I'll be honest, I only come here a couple of times a year and I don't even own any consoles, so could I just get the time card?
Sure. Time cards. Oops, sorry. Looks like we're all out. We should be getting some next week. Why don't you try another game? We've got a great deal on RF Online this week when you buy 3 copies of Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, I'll see myself out.
Hey, are you interested in putting down a reservation on that door?
Let's be honest here. Why waste time when you don't have to? If you need codes and you need them now, the place to get them is MMOcodes.com. Fast delivery, great prices, and a wide variety of games to choose from. MMOcodes.com is the place for time codes and product keys. Get everything you need from MMOcodes.com. Game codes provided by gamers for gamers.
Lisa Ann, host of Creature Reality TV show and co-host of The Paranormal Outsiders, wants to ask you, are you tired of coping with life and ready to start living it? Then you need to visit Spirit Quest Healing Center, a center for your soul. There, Lisa Ann offers reading sessions, Reiki healing sessions, past life regression, and the ever-popular mini readings by email. If you live in the New York area, be sure to check out Creature Reality, a weekly TV show that is not a feel-good fluff TV show. This is a show that is going to make you take a good hard look at yourself and the issues that surround you. More information can be found on her website. Check out Amazon.com for her book No Phones in Heaven, and her line of meditation CDs can be bought at her website. You do not live in Lisa Ann's area? Well, there's no fear. She does readings in person or over the phone, so even if you don't live in the area, you can still get a session. And remember, you owe it to yourself to visit Lisa Ann's Spirit Quest Healing Center. That's www.spiritquesthealingcenter.com.
UFO studies, ancient mysteries, paranormal studies, cryptozoological sciences, demonology, extraterrestrial archaeology, temporal sciences, conspiratorial studies. These courses and more can be found at the Institute of Metaphysics. From the mysteries, knowledge. Institute of Metaphysics.com.
And we are back live on the Dr. William Lester Show, live from the city of Atlanta, which is in the process of drying out. Thank you very much. My special guest tonight is Miss Ashley Harness, editor of werewolves, plural, .com and vampires.com. And we're having and continue to have a fun, fantastic, enjoyable, slightly creepy conversation about all of the things. All the things that go bump in the night. It's really cool because, of course, we're coming up on October, and we really creep out in October, and so this is a great little overture to for folks like us. It's our favorite time of the year because
it's when all
creepy
the good horror movies come out.
Yeah, creepy, and I'll tell you here's what an eccentric fool I am. I start going to the shelf, the DVD shelf, and I start pulling down all the good scary movies, and I just start playing these. I just have this month-long horror fest marathon.
You're not alone.
In my office, and it's like, I've got 2, 4, 6. I've got 8 DVDs on my desk right now, and I just play them one behind the other. And it's just a little annual ritual that I have. All these great films. Yeah, all these great films. And, you can see a film. You've seen these films many times, but you still enjoy them. And that's part of the fun.
What's terrifying to me is that there are probably people who do that with romantic comedies around Valentine's Day. That's a scary thought.
That is troubling. And to think that is a significant genre. And you know what? And I'm sure that I'll get in trouble for this, but whatever. here's the thing: when you're watching a movie about werewolves or vampires, and even we talked about it earlier. It's kind of in a creepy way cool to think that maybe some of this stuff might be real and kind of out there. Uh, but these people who wallow around in romantic comedies, they actually want all of that stuff to be real, and they actually, you know what I mean? And they treat life.
They're, and they
Yeah.
treat us like we're insane.
Yeah, and I know a lot of the stuff. And again, folks, save your emails, okay? All right, I'm just telling you. Uh, a lot of this stuff gets interjected into people's personal relationships uh, because those kind of films cultivate expectations, uh,
Yeah.
and we all know that if you try to impose the expectations onto real people that you see on television and in the movies, you're always going to be disappointed. You're always going to be let down. You know, uh,
Mhm.
and it's somebody's talking on the chat room about Disney movies, and that's just about what it is.
Well,
You
the
know, you
thing
want,
about horror movies is that it's a good thing that you're disappointed because I would hate for that shit to be real.
well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean,
It's a
who
good
wants?
thing. I'm absolutely happy with it remaining in fiction.
Yeah, who wants the howling to be real? Uh, but if you want your
They're
girlfriend
deranged
or
people.
your boyfriend or whatever, if you want them to live up to whatever you saw on the Lifetime channel, uh,
Oh no.
you're going to be constantly upset and angry. Uh, and so, I'm going to stop because I know that those movies have a lot of fans. Uh, but
Mostly girls who are offended easily.
I, and they take time out to write a very virulent emails. Uh,
Oh no.
but so I'll
You know
leave
what
that
I
alone.
heard is that it's crazy how Japan, like Japanese directors and stuff, they pump out a lot of like really vicious horror movies.
Uh-huh.
But they say that over there, that what the kids and the majority of people in society like are romantic comedies. That they don't have an audience for their movies in Japan, so they ship all the horror movies they make there in Asia and everything over here.
Well, I mean, they've been doing that for a long time. I mean, Godzilla, hello, you know. Uh, I mean,
Godzilla had absolutely no audience over there, but in
exactly.
America it was huge.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a whole, I don't know what you call it. I mean, it's in general terms it's science fiction, but the giant movie, the giant monster movie genre, which was
It's always been mostly horror, like
yeah,
borderline sci-fi horror.
borderline, yeah, which the Japanese, you know, did more of than anybody else. Uh, Created a huge industry in the states for that stuff.
Mhm.
Uh, and like you said, nobody over there is interested in it. And uh, and that stuff continues to be, because you have people now who've grown up. You have people in my generation who, I was watching that stuff on Saturday afternoons, Friday nights, and now you have the generation behind me who, who say, "Oh, look at this! Isn't this interesting?" And they're kind of rediscovering it. Uh,
Cloverfield.
exactly. The
Need I say
Cloverfield,
more?
yeah,
Which was an
Cloverfield.
absolutely stupid movie, but still.
But on that level, it worked. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
mean, it was.
connected with people, and the thing I didn't like about the movie was the first 20 minutes of it was a soap opera.
Of course, they're at a
It was
party.
so
They're just,
irritating to me. I
yeah,
was just like, I don't care. And
yeah.
I have seen enough movies. Let me tell you this. If I see another movie where somebody has a hold of a video camera, it's not going to happen. I'll walk out. I can't handle
Yeah,
it. It makes me sick to my stomach.
the herky jerky camcorder effect, guys, please stop it.
It was
Okay.
okay with the Blair Witch Project, and when we finished that movie, we were still sort of like, well, the guy's standing there, and okay, I guess it's over. You know what I mean? It was just that movie has this huge cult following, and nothing happens in it. There are some sticks, some rocks, and a guy standing in a corner. That's the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah. That was one of those situations where they figured out a way to get away with something one time, and I got to give them credit.
Made the sequel.
Right. I gave them credit, and it's like, okay, let's leave that alone forever.
And then they went right back to it.
Right
They made
back
a
to
whole series of books about that movie.
And
it
see,
was
I don't
crazy because there were so many people who were like torn between thinking, "Oh, is it real? Is it fake? Is it real? Is it fake?"
I don't even know how do you fill up several books about that? What there must be like blank pages. I mean, what
I have no idea.
what do you put? What goes
Seems like
in the
a
book?
waste of trees.
Yeah. Like I said, I thought if you factor in what they were trying to do, I thought that they pulled it off well. Yeah. But after that, it's over. Okay. The one thing in Cloverfield, I mean, I thought that the monster itself was creative.
For CGI, yeah.
And I thought the only other thing that struck me as, well done was that, the first inclination that anything is wrong is just this instant blackout. Just this bam, and the lights are out. And then
it was a little bit suspenseful, it wasn't all in your face slasher, some guy is killing a bunch of blonde versions and stuff like that,
Yeah, and they didn't, if you'd seen some kind of gigantic rubbery hand coming through the window and grabbing some girl, I mean, I was like, okay, it's, we don't need, but so I think that they did that effectively. But if we get like a Cloverfield 2, then we got a problem.
I hope not. I really hope not.
Yeah.
That would bother me.
And it was so let's steer clear of that. Now, I read in your bio that you are, what is the Darkness Convention?
What it is, what we're doing is every year, just about every year, someone from the forum section of darkness.com, that's at forum.darkness.com, someone throws a big party and we all get together and talk about what we're into and hang out for a weekend or a few days, and we get our hotels and we just hang out. Right now this year, Stan is throwing it, or Shadow Man. He's in the he does tattoos and piercings for a living, and he's just an awesome guy. He runs our radio station, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'll be cooking.
Uh-oh.
What do you mean? Uh-oh, I'm a girl.
No. Well, no, I know. I didn't want to necessarily, I didn't want to be overtly politically incorrect, but it's okay.
No, I'm not one of those new women out there that need to do all this crazy stuff to be able to cook.
Yeah, I understand. So it also says that that you do moderating for the poetry and fiction section of the forum at darkness.com, and that you've also published short fiction at ghoulie.com. So are you writing, is like is your stuff like exclusively vampires or werewolves, or are you what are you writing? Is it like all dark fiction or horror or sci-fi or what?
Well, in the forum, they mostly, it goes anywhere from dark fiction to dark poetry, and it could be anything from your standard slasher, busty teenage girl gets butchered, to
Oh yes.
genuine monsters and stuff like that. What I write is just whatever I think of at the moment. I don't get a lot of time to focus entirely on fiction because, for the most part, I'm a more commercial writer,
Hmm. Oh
like
yeah,
for websites and stuff.
yeah, I saw you do work as a freelance ghostwriter, and so you are. Tell me about that. I mean, you say you're doing it mostly for other websites?
Yeah, well, right now I really want to just focus on the Dark Sites Network. My boss is a big sweetie. He doesn't want me to just stick mainly with him and not take better paying jobs, but I really
Oh
want
wow.
to just focus entirely on getting his stuff taken care of because I'm absolutely devoted to everything we're trying to do as far
Right.
as really getting everybody into the horror entertainment thing and just drawing people in as much as possible.
I'm getting a message here that says if you're on your computer, if you're onto the chat room, that you
Mhm.
may be echoing, and that if you're up there, if you could mute it, because I think
I've
people
got
are
it stopped right now.
okay. Uh, so okay, so you guys should not hear her echoing if she's muted it out. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So okay, I'm getting a message. The people in the chat room are so they're like, "Oh, she sounds good now." Uh,
Okay,
yeah,
great.
yeah, uh, yeah. And it says that. Okay, so tell me about the DJing also, because it's funny because I do a music show on Sunday night, so I'm interested in what you're doing.
Um, we generally tend towards the gothic tunes, but
Uh huh.
occasionally Shadow will do like his show contains femi metal, which is not my thing at all. I sort of stay away from that. But
All right.
I mean, the worst thing to me is a bunch of chicks screaming into the mic and not being able to play instruments. But I do,
Oh wow.
a really eclectic mix when I do get a chance to DJ, which isn't very often. But when I do, it's really eclectic. It's techno, it's classic rock. I occasionally throw in a little bit of crap music. Um,
Oh my
it's a little
goodness.
bit of everything. Mhm.
Wow. Um, well, I'm curious about what is crap music. I know I have my definition.
Well, all you have to do is drop the C.
Okay, I feel you. I no, I listen. I agree. I agree because
All right.
I don't certainly don't play any on my show. Um, so no, so we definitely agree there. So again, we talked about movies, and I just I mentioned uh, a book as written by one of our local writers, but um, are there some other books that you may recommend? Uh, uh, but before I ask you that, Old Hip is sending in another joke. So let's see if this is something we can do on the air. Okay, it says, "Do you know why rappers are always grabbing their crotches?
No, do tell.
Because they can't play the guitar." You know, I'm here all week, folks. I'm here all week, folks. Two shows nightly. Um,
That's great.
but the books. What do you recommend? What's good?
Right now, I'm reading two books actually for a new author called. The first one is Wolf Sanctuary or
Wow.
Werewolf Sanctuary, and the second one is Beast Warrior. I can't see it from here. Oh, Viking Werewolf. But her name is Eva Gordon, and she's a real sweetie. She's
Mhm.
a new author. I think right now she could definitely use a better editor.
Oh
But
boy.
as far as that goes, the stories are really, really like totally just addictive. I got really into it despite myself, despite the typos and the bad editing. She's a great author, and I definitely see her going places in
Wow.
terms of werewolf fiction. Because, I mean, right now it's the vampire romance thing, and she writes about werewolf romance with a lot of the gross details left out, which I appreciate. Because a lot of the things I don't really like about like some of the vampire fiction and things you see nowadays, there's just so much damn sex in these books, and it's like, can we just please get on with it? Because
Well, you
I
know what?
don't need like a play-by-play of every single sexual encounter of every single character in the book. Just spare me all that, please, God.
Well, you know what that is? I mean, they're trying to drag in an audience of people who, may not be interested necessarily in the vampire aspect, but if you mix that other stuff in, then suddenly it becomes like, huh, hmm,
Softcore porn for
hmm
like the bored housewives of America.
yeah, and it's just it's more of a marketing technique than anything else, because whoever it was who initially said that sex sells was more right than they could possibly have known.
Mhm.
Uh, and
For me,
just
it's like, I want more of the story. I want to know what's going on. I mean, they can have sex once, and, you can be a little bit more tasteful about it, for God's sake.
well, it depends on who you want reading it. Uh,
This is true.
yeah, I mean,
Well, you consider that most of these people are targeting a teen audience that is mostly unexperienced, and then you figure, oh, okay, well,
yeah,
that's
I
what
mean,
the younger people go for.
yeah, and it's that's the reality. I mean, these 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 publishing companies are only interested in moving units, okay, and how many copies they can sell. And if they have decided, or if they've done some market research, uh, that a slimy, really greasy, sexual tone is what's going to sell, that's what you're going to get. And
Yeah,
all of that, all of that stuff about you want some story. you know, that's that's not what they're thinking.
well, recently Laurel K. Hamilton, she's big in the vampire detective stories, that kind of thing. She
Hmm
like publicly denounced work by Stephanie Meyer
hmm
because she said that it oppressed women. That she really went for the Bella Swan as a very weak female character, and just she's just a weak female, and that says something bad to kids everywhere. I'm sorry, but Laurel K. Hamilton's books are filled with just the raunchiest, nastiest sex scenes. And I'm sorry, but I would rather have my children reading a book about a girl who is in, a midway healthy relationship with a vampire than reading a book filled, that I might as well just buy my kids Hustler if I wanted to give them that. I mean, there's hardly any sex in the Twilight books. There's one or two, three, maybe three sex scenes in the very last book. I'm happy with that, but in every single one of the Hamilton books, there's just a ton of sex, and she's saying that the other author is a bad influence. That's kind of funny to me.
Well, I get sick and tired of people pretending, as if certain things don't exist in our society, and so
Mhm.
we should never make anybody aware that these things exist. And so everybody is not a role model, and
Yeah, exactly.
everybody doesn't do the type of things that you think that they ought to be doing. Everybody doesn't behave in the way you think they ought to be behaving. And you know, so every character in a movie or in a book or on TV is not going to be the gold standard or some kind of icon of virtue that you know, and